That's one of the intros. We're going to play another intro. NXT just went off the air, guys. You got your host for the NXT show, the Great Grand Slam Poobah and Sabrina Estella. So much to talk about. So many. We had a few qualifiers for the Iron Survivor, and we're going to talk about it. Does Chase U survive? Who knows? Well, you probably do know because you watch the show, but here's the intro anyway. I love that intro. We have probably the best intro of all of them, Popular Review. You know, it's just upbeat. It's catchy. You guys can't see it before the show starts, but I'm bopping like this. I look like a fish out of water. But I'm one of your hosts, the Great Grand Slam Poobah, a.k.a. Bad Guy Jack, and I'm joined with Sabrina Estella, Forever the Wrestling Doll, Wrestling Doll! I had some coffee, so I'm on fire. There's other reasons why I'm on fire. But madam, how the heck, why don't you tell the people watching, how the heck are you?
I am doing fine. Thank you for asking. I enjoyed NXT tonight, and Hassan says he likes my hat. Thank you. It is wrestling merch from an indie wrestler I watch called Ozzy Killmeister.
Ooh.
So a little shout out. And I'm wearing black and orange because if I wore black and red tonight, I knew this one was going to be upset at me if I wore the Chase U color. So I'm wearing orange, not red.
No, listen, Wrestling Doll, let's not do that. Let's not lie to the people. You could have wore the colors, and I would have said you look fantastic in it. Now, if you wore a Chase U shirt, I would have walked out.
I don't own one.
Good. I own one. I use it to clean my toilets. That's what I think of Chase U. Look, I don't want to even bury the lead here. I am ecstatic right about now. The great Ridge Holland, he right now, Japan, the stock market has increased. The kids in France are celebrating Christmas. It is a great day to not be a part of Chase U. And you know who's mainly, you know who gets the most satisfactory of Chase U's demise? That's right. It's me. It's Bad Guy Jack. But I also want to say that Ridge Holland did it for the the Janinites. The Jane trainers, we are celebrating tonight. Raise your glass because it's a great night. And I can't wait to talk about it. I am in my comfortable seat. I'm full of energy, and I can't wait to talk about some NXT. But real quick, though, I just want to say real quick here. Today is Unpopular Review's 6-year anniversary. They had an anniversary show around, I want to say 7-ish or so. I happened to pop in a little late on the show, but it was great to be on with the executive consultant. It was great to see Stefan and Patrick. They were the originators of this lovely brand. Mike Knox, I don't know, someone left the door open, so he came through. And then DJ was there as well. And it was just nice to just shoot the shit and talk about Unpopular Review. So shout out to Unpopular Review. It turned 6. I happen to be a part of 4 out of the 6. And I can't wait to continue to do tremendous things on this platform. Continue to support us. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. I'm still calling it Twitter. When Unpopular Review started, it was called Twitter. So I'm calling it that. We're on Twitch, and we have that thing. I think, what was that thing again? It's not platform. What was this P thing again? Patreon. There we go. One day I'm going to get that right. Yeah, there we go. Look, right there, guys. Right there. You see that? But, you know, you guys don't want to hear me. You guys came here to talk about some NXT, and we're going to talk about it. So I have some notes. I know you have some notes. Are you ready to indulge? You know what? Real quick before we even break into this whole thing, right? The Monday night shows, right? I want to give a shout out to Mike Knox on the Mike Knox Show, written by, starring. I think he produced it too, right? I don't know. He does everything. I think he even did.
Produced, directed, did everything basically. I
honestly think he sings his own song. But, you know, he was talking on that show, and look, we're getting ready to enter award season, and everyone's already aiming for their spots. I see Mike on there talking about, I better win this, I better win that. I'm Mike Knox, I better win the Mike Knox Award. He probably will win that. I would be really satisfied if he don't win that. And then I think on the Monday Night Raw crew, the executive consultant, you have Freckles Sensei, or is it Sensei? I forget. It's one of those words. And they were talking, thank you. And they were talking about Freckles was going off, and he was talking about, we're going to win this, bitch. We're going to win this, and we're going to do that. And I think he did a little spin in his chair. And I just want to sit here and say real quick, guys, you're watching the award-winning show. Me and Sabrina Estella, we're going to clean house when we go on the award show. Right, Sabrina Estella? Let them know.
Well, amongst these lovely nominations with Vic and the Freckle Sensei and the executive consultant, Big Daddy Cool, and the executive consultants, you have myself, Sabrina Estella, and the great Grand Slam Pooba for Best UPR Duo. And who knows, might win.
I see the competition there. Look, it's a fair competition. Look, the Raw Review Show guys, they've been stepping up and they've been doing a fantastic job. You have Vic and Z, or Z and Vic, whichever one, however you want to word it. They've been doing a killer job. And who else do we got here? That's us. NEC. See, here we go. This is the nonsense that I'm talking about. This is, I don't know who did these awards, right? But you see EC and was it? Is it BDC and EC? There's too many letters going on. I think they've already wiped out all the alphabets. When was the last time you saw them on air together?
Maybe 2023.
Exactly, and yet they found a way. They always find a way to squeeze in there. But you know what? This year we're going to kick ass. That's what we're going to do, because it's not up to just anybody who I'm surprised still work here on Unpopular Review as voting. It's you guys in the chat that gets to vote. But I'm throwing it out here. We are the award-winning show. But let's talk about this NXT show. It opened up with Nathan Frazer against. Oh my God, no!
Just a second. You dare say 2023? 2023.
Maybe. Keyword maybe.
Does anybody remember such? We were on all year. We had more episodes than you two, right? And does anybody remember such classics as this?
Last week, we took the internet by storm with your thoughts about Zelina Vega and Rey Mysterio hooking up. Is there any? Is there any?
You saw it.
Is there new?
You saw it.
Evidence that this is happening?
You saw it. Yeah, it's plenty of evidence. They were on Raw together this past Monday also.
Rey was in a match and she was the manager.
Backstage segment when it was Alina and it was Dragon Lee and it was Rey Mysterio and it was Braun Strowman. And she kept looking at Braun Strowman like, you better stay away from my man.
Wait,
I saw it.
I did not pick up on that. Not at all.
I also saw what looked like they were about to invite Dragon Lee. They came out together. They were all hugging. You know what I'm saying? She was like, yeah, you look like you might be the next Rey Mysterio. That's what I saw. That's what I saw. You didn't see that?
Invite Dragon Lee to what?
What are you talking about?
Zelina didn't pass him a hotel key.
Well, not that you saw. You know what I'm saying? She took her cochetas off. But I'm just saying.
What? What did you just say?
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
How many shots have you had? You slurring that?
They did. When was the last time y'all did that short? What was that? That was last year of 2023, right?
That was clearly 3 months ago. 3 months ago.
Anyways, let's talk about NXT before that one pops up in here and explodes again and says just a second before we have to take another drink.
I don't think my liver can handle that.
Well,
so we're gonna move.
So I'm good.
Fantastic. Let's start with, as I was really interrupted. This show opened up with Nathan Frazer against Eddy Thorpe. I thought this was good from what I saw. Now, I was moving around a little bit here. So one of the things I got out of here is Nathan Frazer, he comes out with Axiom. And there's a whole bunch of tag teams because there's all these other tag teams want a shot at those tag team championships. I was hoping Nathan Frazer would win because I felt like he would be the better fit for the Iron Survivor, and I was glad that I was right. So we got Nathan Frazer, Wesley. I'm missing one more. Oh, Javon Evans. I'm already saying this match is going to be ridiculous. So a lot of stuff is going on. Nathan Frazer, obviously everyone knows he moves really quick. He's very fast. He does Nathan Frazer things. Eddy Thorpe, he gets some spotlight.
He got some chants from the crowd. They were definitely chanting, Eddy, Eddy, Eddy. And then he's going to turn on everybody because they won't listen to him because he keeps brushing him off, which I feel for the man, because if you're at your job and you're frustrated and you're talking to your manager and they won't listen because they're helping out other people's problems, even though he's been coming up to her for weeks now trying to get something out of this, he's going to turn heel, which is probably going to help him out a little bit more in his character and his work in NXT, like it did with Wesley, for example. But match was good. They got some good spots in there. The tag teams were all sprinkled all over, like if it was like sprinkles on a cupcake, so to speak. They were sprinkled everywhere. And then you got more teams coming in during the middle of the match, and then everybody starts fighting, and then Nathan jumps up from the top rope and then jumps on all of them. And then Eddy thinks, oh, this is a good opportunity. I'll beat him down some. And it still don't work. And I'm just thinking to myself, Nathan Frazer is going to be in the Iron Survivor match, and he's going to have a tag team championship match. Is this boy trying to kill himself? There's a good chance that he might lose in the Iron Survivor match, and there's a good chance if he's too damn tired that they're going to lose the tag belts because he's not going to be at 100%. Although if he and Maxim do win those belts, do retain those belts over there after going through the Iron Survivor match, props to him.
You know, honestly,
they split thing.
I was going to say, honestly, it's a great point that you mentioned, because I forgot that, right, they still got to defend them tag team championships. I'm just simply thinking, oh, he's in this match and he's going to be an Iron Survivor. He's most likely defending these titles at, Deadline. Yeah, no, I think the story is there too. The story is there, like, oh, he's putting too much on his plate and he's going to be tired. And I can see that's a great.
We're also thinking, boy, you did this not that long ago. Go focusing more on your singles run versus your tag team run. And your partner got mad at you and all that and was trying to make sure that you didn't do all that. But when he decided to do all that too, you couldn't handle and you got mad at him. You started yelling at him and bitching and moaning and groaning and complaining.
Oh!
Get mad at him about that. But then when he just dishes it to you, you can't take it. If you can't take the heat, get out of the damn kitchen.
There you go. Sabrina, so you know, encouraged, so you know what that means.
I'm throwing some money your way into the swear jar.
There we go. You don't hear it, but there's the Mario coins going on. But yeah, no, and I, you know, you was mentioning too about Eddy Thorpe. I think a heel turn is definitely needed from him. I think I said it on the show prior. You know, how many gimmicks I don't even say gimmicks. How many times that they tweaked his character?
Like 3 or 4, like 2 or 3 already.
Right, because like he embraces his heritage, which is great.
Yeah, because he's Native American.
Right, and then
he's not just putting on an act like Tanaka did before.
And he also added the DJ stuff. Now, honestly, the DJ stuff did absolutely nothing for me. You know, I was like, oh, cool. You blast a lot of loud music. And, you know, I'm at an age where when music is just a little too loud, and I'm a loud person. You know, no. Although I like DJ Kali. I think he's great. Me and him are like the new tag team champions in 2K. Because I turned on Morgan. Let's get to these chats real quick. We got George. He said, wait, what? I think he was looking at the thing that...
about when the executive consultant decided to play that short to prove that he and Big Daddy Cool weren't last seen on air since 2023, like I said. I was talking about full-length episodes, not just the shorts, but that's besides the point.
Well, you know, the executive consultant, it's called the executive consultant rule. He always find a way to squeeze in. He's the kind of guy who will say, that don't work for me, brother. We got good Chris in the chat. Roxanne Perez in a well-deserved vacation. She is. The hell will be fine without Chase U. I think she'll be fine. Eddy Thorpe is definitely going to turn heel. We got George. He said, I really thought that Eddy was going to win.
So did I, no lie.
Okay, there we go. We got Jeffrey Reimer. What's going on, Jeff? He says he's going to explode, go back to the woods, and never come back. Okay. I think he's going to come back. He's probably just going to hit someone with a freaking tree. That's what I think he's going. Pulling double duty, talking about Nathan Frazer. And good Chris says Roxanne Perez is not defending her NXT Women's Championship at Deadline. I don't think so. I think she's going to defend it like maybe the week after or something. Oh, maybe no. Maybe she's defending it at New Year's Evil, because didn't they do that before, where whoever won this, they defended the championship at New Year's Evil? So I could definitely see that being a match in the first show in NXT of 2025. And we got this. I'm sorry, Jeffrey, I can't tell what that is. Is that chicken?
We don't have any emoji showing there, so we can't see what it is. So we cannot.
Sorry about that, Jeff. I have no idea what that is.
Unless it's the two eyeballs like that, we can't see it.
Okay. So the next thing we got, I think there was a segment. Wasn't there a segment before the
promo from Andre Chase talking about the students with you. Saying how it improved many lives there and the history behind it, how it started with just and then Duke Hudson got added into it, then Riley Osborne, Ridge Holland included, mentioned the calendars that did help save the school. So,
and who was on that calendar?
Don't you mean whose idea was for the calendar?
She was on the calendar too.
I didn't see the calendar, so I can't say.
Oh, I did. JC Jane said, say it again. Andre was saying some things, right?
Yeah.
He was saying something. You know what I would have done? How dare you spread that lie? Oh, shit. How dare you start spreading lies like that? I would have sprayed a whole bunch of Febreze.
He didn't spread
this. I love when the good guy win. Absolutely. Oh my God, that coffee is really kicking in. I'm sorry. We're gonna have a moment of silence for them later in the show. Stay with us. We're gonna talk about. Let's talk about this match right here. I'm sorry. I am ticklish. I'm really tickled. We got Jeffrey telling me to calm down. Nah, this is gonna be the episode. That's not happening. I've had coffee.
Unless I start ranting, so one of us needs to be calm.
Adrenaline in my soul. Something, Cody Rhodes. Yeah.
I love that clip.
That's gonna be that's a fantastic clip, isn't it? We got Europe. Hi, Sabrina, Estella. Yellow hat. What's that? Yellow, heart, red, and hi, Jack. I can't believe.
No, it's red and yellow. Do not confuse me for Hulk Hogan, please, because I will never dress like that. Interesting person, so to speak.
You heard that, brother? I think if you dressed up as Hulk Hogan, you would have to have the noodle mustache.
Nope, I will never.
I don't blame you.
Don't be surprised if I ever go to a convention and I dress like Stephanie Vaquer.
That would be badass. You should totally do that. We got oh my God, hold on, Z, calm down. We got George who says, look at this. This number is ridiculous. It's just so disrespectful.
Negative 75 million for you.
I would hate to play Monopoly with this guy. I would just be bankrupt. Can you go? I'll probably just be in jail in his
for the duration of the game, which could take.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah. I've never completed a whole Monopoly game to begin with because it's just so long. But yeah, I'll be in jail. Look at this. This is right here, George. I want you to take a look at this. This is what a comic should look like. Look at the respect that he has for his great Grand Slam Pooba. The great Grand Slam Pooba is looking handsome as always. He must have said, as always, thank you. It's the skincare. And Sabrina Estella, a.k.a. Russell Dahl, is looking beautiful as always. See, that is respect right there. That is why he's welcome. And he's a part of the we got to throw him up, the Undisputed Era thing. That's why he's with us. That's what I'm talking about, the respect. Yeah, you see this, Jeffrey, just Z is so disrespectful. I have a lot of respect for Z. He dressed up like Spike Lee today, and I thought that was fantastic. I wanted to say, big fan of She Gotta Have It. Good movie. Well, I actually like the Netflix show. Let's talk about this match. Jaida Parker against Stephanie Vaquer.
I'm just going to say this. We got a promo from Julia, who's speaking in English, switches to Japanese, talking about her spending time here in America, how she's adjusting to the culture and enjoying it, as well as saying that her time in Japan definitely did help with her craft, and how the Japanese would refer to her wrestling style as Beautiful Madness, which is where she gets her moniker from, and that the Iron Survivor participants are going to get a taste of that Beautiful Madness. And then we have Kaylani Jordan frantically watching the promo. She's getting a little nervous about it, and she sees Mr. Stone and Stevie Turner and asks them to put her in a qualifier match with Julia next week. And I'm just thinking, that happens. Kehlani's not getting in there because they're teasing Stephanie and Julia in the Iron Survivor match. And speaking of that, when I saw that it was Stephanie that Jaida was going to go up against, I was like, oh, yeah, no, she's not getting in that match. Especially if they tease that. It's like, what's the point if it's not going to happen?
Can I say real quick before we talk about this match, Jaida Parker against Stephanie Vaquer, and I mean, already I see Jeffrey putting in the chat that just Stephanie's one. Can I sit here and say that so far the women's Iron Survivor match, it's just shaping up to be something fantastic. Stephanie Vaquer, we're going to talk about Zaria later. Oh God, who was the first? So Ruka and Julia in that match. That sounds like a crazy batch of talent in one match. So yeah, Julia. I mean, yeah, I see her definitely beating Kalani Jordan as well. I see also in the chat. Aren't you supposed to be asleep? Like you think you're so clever? Like who you think you're so?
This is another one of our things. The great grandson Puba does his hardest and his best to pronounce people's names, and sometimes doesn't always get it right. And I help him.
That is why you're so fantastic, and this is why we're gonna win Do Over the Year, because we're a team. Unlike the executive consultant who just eats hot dogs with nothing on it, just plain terrible taste in hot dogs. And I said Zaria. All right, let's open your ears, everybody. Everyone, open your ears. Everyone knows, right? We're gonna play a commercial, but we're gonna talk about this match real quick. What's going on? The strongest Roderick there is. He says, "What's up?" To me, and he also says, what is going on with you?
I'm just going to say,
and you know what? And we'll beat you and Steve. So go ahead, pay me with anybody. We're winning regardless. You think you're so clever with your stupid shirt and you're in the dark and your dumb nightlight. That's all I have. I'm sorry. But go ahead, take the floor.
But I'm just going to say this: they had the men started. Men did fine. But this was the match that should have started off the show, number one, because this was the match that got the first This Is Awesome chant of the night, which this match also did show how much Jaida has improved since debuting in the NXT roster, as well as holding her own against Stephanie. And Stephanie got a lot of offense in there as well, which she does amazingly talented moves in there. Like, I hadn't really seen many people do some of the stuff that she does as far as like with her finisher as well. So can't go wrong with that. And we do get a little surprise from Lola Vice carrying a brick in her hand, distracting Jaida, which basically gives her Stephanie the opportunity to win the match via the package backbreaker.
I think this was good. Everyone knows how good Stephanie Vaquer. I mean, just to piggyback on what you were saying, Jaida Parker held her own very well. And I was thinking about, I want to say like her last 3 matches, single matches, at least top of my head, because I'm pretty sure I'm missing a match. But I thought she had a great showing at No Mercy against Roxanne Perez. Showed that she belongs in the ring, and she had a really fun match last 2 weeks ago against Lola Vice. I thought that was a fun match. And her to stay toe-to-toe with Stephanie, who's well-accomplished, well-oiled, wrestling-wise. I just thought she looked good. I was paying more attention to see how Jaida would do against Stephanie, and she didn't look out of place. I thought she looked well. She looked like she belongs, and I just thought that I thought it was great stuff. So, she lost, and they also did a great job on protecting her on the loss. Like, she could have lost clean to Stephanie, and no one would have batted an eye. But I like that they also continued the feud, because I didn't think their feud was done, her and Lola. And I see that.
Keep Z watching since he loves both those ladies. So I bet his heart breaks every time they got to go against each other because he just loves his Miss Parker and his Miss Valerie Loretto.
I hear that. Real quick before we go into commercials, let's get to some of the comments here. We got Charmaine. She says, "Hi, what's going on, Charmaine? Thank you for being here." We got Strong Roderick. He said, "I'm so happy Chase U's finally over." Me too. I feel like I'm the only one so satisfied, and I'm okay with that. Lola Vice cost Jaida Parker. Yes, George. Probably Stephanie needs a new finisher. I don't mind that as a regular move because it's a backbreaker. Like, I mean,
it's like a backbreaker, neckbreaker looking combo, so to speak. And I don't see many people doing one like that. So,
okay.
I mean, it's better than having 5 or 10 or 20 people doing a super kick as a finisher.
Oh, the super kick is like such a killed finish.
Or the stunner.
Or the stump. You know what's another move that kind of get bastardized is the cutter. Like I feel like everyone has a cutter now. And everyone has a Canadian destroyer. Like I forget what is it the Midnight Express or the Rock and Roll Express? All I know is a few years ago, one of them did a freaking Canadian destroyer. I said, now the 70-year-olds are doing it. Like I don't know. It's like certain moves.
Most wrestling fans look at like, I don't want to see that anymore.
And I miss when that was a finisher. Like I remember when Petey Williams put you away with it. Now people just kick out. Like you could get a Canadian destroyer on concrete and the person will kick out at 1. Roderick says, I will say this, Jack, in the words of Drew McIntyre, I prayed for this and it happened. Now I want to see the tears of me. Ooh, I'm not reading all that.
He wants to see Shay crying and other people. Roderick, that is very, very insensitive.
That was mean, even for me. Miss Parker.
I mean, he likes to say stuff to rile Shay up, but he wouldn't want to see her cry.
I mean, I'll shut up. Jaida would have had a great showing at Deadline, but next time. There's always next time, absolutely. Jaida Parker versus Lola Vice, Deadline. I can see that as well. LOL, now it's time for Ridge Holland to become champion.
No.
He did God's work. I think he should get rewarded. I just told you. Don't do that to me, Sabrina, Estella. All I'm saying is, no.
I'm doing the one who decided to write that comment because no. Ridge Holland still bores me. His promo work has gotten better, but it still bores me. And he's fine in the ring, but again, he still bores me. And if he causes someone yet another injury, what is WWE going to do at this point?
I think he should get rewarded for doing great things. I think that right now, like I said, the kids in France, they're celebrating Christmas. Thanksgiving is going to be good in Japan. Somewhere in the Netherlands, people are just flowing through the glass or whatever it is. I am for it. Let's go. Let's make that happen. Roderick, the chat is against you, but I'm not against you. I see the vision. Let's make that happen. Ridge Holland, I thought you was getting ready to walk out. I was like, don't you leave me and go to SmackDown.
I would never walk out on you. I'm not Dice.
I love you. We're going to play a commercial. We're going to come back and restart. This is Unpopular Review. This is the NXT Review Show. And we got a lot more matches going on. So let's play a commercial. You know what? No, we're not going to play a Mike commercial because he doesn't play NXT commercials. That's what he said. I'm just kidding. We're going to play a Mike Knox commercial, which you could catch Mondays at 6 p.m. This is a Mike Knox commercial.
To me,
Previously on the Mike Knox Show.
this was the best part of SmackDown. Don't apologize to me. You need to apologize to Jay. I love Sami Zayn. Okay, and I did not want him to be back part of the bloodline. Yeah, could you call it? Yeah, I didn't want to be called. I didn't want that call. As my daughter would say, please tell me, Dad and Agatha, if you haven't seen it, they're going to bring Wanda back. No, baby girl. Just vote for it for me. But I said, no, baby girl, she's not coming back. Please? Okay. Speaking of wishful thinking, right? I wishfully didn't want to think that they were going to bring him back part of the bloodline. But they did. Like, I get tired of seeing black wrestlers like that. Like, they act like every black wrestler is from the hood, right? Meechin, she acts like she's a black gangster and she's Asian. Like, I
got Asian mafias. They got Asian
gangsters. Crime Time was the same way. I'm just getting tired of that's the only thing that black wrestlers can do. So I've always been a big component of what the character of what David Otunga was able to do. Not what David Otunga was actually able to do, but the character could have been huge.
Lose it, bite my tongue for no one. I put you on blast. So all the news channels, y'all can kiss my ass. Other YouTube or Google me, turn it up and play it. Cause many people think it, I just had the balls to say it.
Hold on here. Is it the barbershop? Is it the barbershop? It's the barbershop. I mean, we can't talk straight in the barbershop. Then where can we talk straight? We can't talk straight nowhere else. You know, this ain't nothing but healthy conversation.
That was the Mike Knox Show. You can catch that on 6 p.m. on Mondays, kicking off the week for Unpopular Review. We're going to continue to talk about some NXT. Real quick before we go, let's get into the chat. Right here, we got Roderick. He's letting it be known. We want Ridge. I am for this. Sabrina Stella is absolutely not. Can we be one like what for this? Right, we want Jay-Z. Like I'm on. There we go. There we go. We want Jay-Z. Matter of fact, I don't see why she's not on this thing. Why she's not here on it? Oh, there she is. Why did they make her so small? We need to fix that. Sabrina, first time ever. Please walk out for that comment.
No, I don't need to walk out. There's no reason to do so.
Isn't she great? Fallen Eddie was the center of attention during the Fatal Snooze segment. He's just this George guy.
Of course, she was the center of attention during the Fatal Influence segment. She's the NXT Women's North American Champion.
Well, she's the avatar, because the real champion is JC Jane. I don't mean to burst anyone's bubble. Is that what Patrick told me earlier? I don't mean to burst your bubble. And here it was, I was right. Where is Patrick? Someone get Patrick. Someone wake him up. Tell him to come watch the Unpopular Review because he was wrong. And I said, I would tell you that you was wrong. Matter of fact, someone clip this for me so I can send this to Patrick to let him know you was wrong. I was right. I haven't been wrong since, I don't know, 1991. Sorry. We got written by Mike Knox, produced by Mike Knox, worded by Mike freaking Knox. Oh, okay. Powered by Mike Knox, starring Mike Knox, brought to you by Mike Knox. Who wrote the song? I just want to know who wrote the song. Roger Shawn Michael is not going to let that happen. We got I love JC Jane, me too. Right. Bad guy, JC's not champion. You're not champion. And we got Ashante the Adonis Karmen Petrovic. Next, Indy Hartwell and Dexter, because Indy and Dexter is the greatest love story NXT ever told. I think we're getting close to that segment. I do want to talk about that. Ludicrous. I think
the Euphoria wannabe segment that we had going on with the duration of their whole story.
Well, we do have
Reece and Dion Lennox first, and they were hyping each other up in the locker room beforehand. Not to mention they were wearing some jerseys because there is going to be a football game coming up on Saturday. And they did also mention that because Dion Lennox actually did play at Oregon State. So Brinley's saying, I will pass my Brinergy to you as well. We keep it going, we flow, and we just have a good match, basically.
There was another segment, real quick. Do you have to always use my shoot name Unpopular Review? Always? Like, do you? How is it? He doesn't do that to anybody else. It's always me. Hey, Ron. What's going on, Ron? Oh, you know what? Real quick. No. Put that down. Highlight the one beneath that. It is George Lewis' birthday this Saturday. We're not going to be on air, so we're going to sit here and say the guy who's running Unpopular Review is a drunk because Sorry Terrible got jacked. That was even clever. Send me your worst work. But his birthday is this Saturday, and we want to say happy birthday to George. George is fantastic. He's in the chat he's always the first one on Tuesdays. So we always appreciate you being in the chat, being the supportive of not just us on NXT, but Unpopular Review as well. So happy birthday. I hope your birthday is everything. I feel like there was a new Sonic game. I just can't fucking think on top of my head. Oh, they had Sonic Generation. I hope you get Sonic Generations in Shadow. That's a fun game. I haven't even completed. How could anyone not know Ludacris rap that song? I didn't know that, George. Wrestling Dog, did you know that? Yeah. You know, George, Jeffrey act like he's a judge. I'm sorry. I didn't know you was Judge Judy's husband. I didn't know you had a license to do stuff like that. I'm sorry. Oh, this guy's just judging people there in Georgia or wherever he's at. I didn't know that. I'm sorry that I let you down, Jeffrey. So uncultured.
So Roxanne Perez is cutting a promo at the beach, bragging about the first Iron Survivor Challenge winner, which she did, and she won, and she eventually became the NXT Women's Champion. And she's enjoying her time and enjoying her vacation when Soruka pops up from behind her, walking by with the surfboard, getting ready to dive into the water. She sees her recording, and she says that she will be seeing more of her after she wins that deadline, which gives Roxanne that sour face like that one kid who is spoiled rotten with their family on vacation and has gotten everything they wanted up until one particular point where their parents are like, that is enough, you ain't getting what you want, and they have that sour look for the rest of the time afterwards. That is what she looked like. Anyway, Brooks Jensen with Sean Spears by his side, which the match was fine. I had no problem with it. Tony D did good. Brooks Jensen held his own despite how homeless he looks with that ridiculous hair and beard combo. He looks more homeless than Sami Zayn did and Baron Corbin did, just saying. But match was fine. It went well. Tony D retains. Didn't think they were going to give that belt to Brooks Jensen anyways. And the match is over, and then we see Shawn Spears holding his hand out, and we think he's going to be nice, which, if anybody's watching, the word Shawn Spears and nice never go in the same sentence, especially when he is the chairman. And he hits him, and they start beating the crap out of him because they don't know how to be classy sportsmen like he likes to claim that he is.
Yeah, no, this match was fine. This match didn't do anything for me. I saw that was just to move the storyline for Tony D because his next opponent is going to be Shawn Spears. He's going to be facing him next week. This was a non-title match. And, yeah, it was fine. Like, I don't really have anything.
At the end, so it was a title match.
No, it wasn't. This was a non-title.
Well, I heard them say the word Tony D retains, so.
Yeah, see, George is, just to confirm, he's mentioning that this wasn't, he didn't defend his championship. Because, I mean, honestly, too, because, like, what has Jensen done to even earn a title shot? I mean, I guess you could say the same thing about Shawn Spears. I don't know. Right. But
like
yeah,
lapdogs that are big that think that they're tiny lapdogs, but they're not.
We got here. I'm sorry, I just want to get into the chat a little bit and we'll move forward here. Roderick, he points out that all he wants for Christmas is Ridge Holland and JC as champion. I'm totally for that, especially the latter. So Ruka is not winning at Deadline. Now, I don't see her winning at Deadline, Chris, but I do see her having a great showing. So shout out to One Shay Sawyer. The first Iron Survivor match, you know who was the standout of that match was Kiana James. And it wasn't just her that said it. There was a lot of people who put eyes on her. That match put a lot of eyes on her. So I can see that being something for Sol Ruka. Now, I mean, looking at this field right now, you have someone like Julia, Stephanie, because there's no doubt in my mind Julia's going to be Stephanie, Zaria. Those are some names that's going to really stand out. So she's going to have really have her working boots on if she wants to stand out. But I definitely see her having a standout performance that day. Whereas Cora Jade, she lost. I don't know. Maybe she was at the beach recording Roxanne. I don't know. We have so please I need my
angle looking thing, so I don't think so.
That's correct. She did. She was doing like that, so that makes sense. So please, I need my Christmas gift here to be extremely perfect with this greatest Christmas gift if I can get it. Roderick is going on some tyrant there. Roderick, sorry to burst your bubble, but hell no. And you know, not for nothing, George don't say hell no. I've never seen him use such strong language. George, you have such a potty mouth. Brooks and Sammy are brothers. They look like they let themselves go. It's the beard. I think that's throwing you guys off. I kid you not. I know these guys. I mean, I think we all know they're not homeless. It's just the beard. Y'all making me want to check my beard.
His hair looks crazy too.
Okay.
It's round on his head.
Who's that? Jensen?
Yes.
Okay.
Shawn Spears only has the bit there.
It was just there, and we got Ashante and the Kia lines, and Carmen was upset. Huh? Maybe I missed something.
About that bit. We're gonna talk about that bit because I got a bit to say about that. We're gonna talk about that too.
So let's.
King,
okay, go.
He was talking about how he's changing, how he's trying not to be like his dad, basically, and how little by little people are seeing that he's changing. He knows he's not going to change everybody's mind right away. He was chatting with Yoshiki Inamura from Pro Wrestling.
Good job.
And he's all done with that. Thank you. Josh Briggs walks up to him and tells him to be careful. And then he's asking, what was all that about? And he's like, NXT is crazy. Cuts over to the tag teams brawling back there because they are trying to get their shot at the NXT titles and making sure, hey, if we weaken each other, we can do that. And then you see Briggs looking at Inamura. So maybe they'll team up last minute. And then because everybody's so focusing on beating everybody else up, they become the dark horse team that nobody expects. And they went up winning because they focusing on getting them belts and not just beating the crap out of everybody else without even knowing who we gonna fight.
You know, it's an interesting point. Yeah, and you know, I kind of thought that too. Like, oh, they're gonna team up or something like that. I know that he's on excursion right now. I forget what the gentleman's name was. What was his name? Not Josh. Right. He's on excursion. I don't know for how long. So I can see what you're saying. Now, the only thing is I don't see them winning, honestly, but I can see them being as a team. And now there's the possibility of them winning is obviously anything can happen in wrestling, right? I mean, watch wrestling long enough. I mean, the Brooklyn Brawler actually holds a victory over Triple H, and that's wild. It's actually a real thing, too. You can look it up. It was on SmackDown. He pinned Triple H. I think it was a handicap match, and Triple H lost, and it was to the Brooklyn Brawler. But
so we have Brinley Reece and Dion Lennox. They come out in their, I believe they were Oregon State jerseys, because, like I said, Dion did play in Oregon State, and we did have a moment with Carmen and Adonis talking before the match, and they're wearing Washington, I believe, and they're talking about how that team's going down, Washington's going to win, and they're talking like how like maybe they'll be able to get this going, like make a good team and all that stuff. They have their entrances. Brinley and Dion go out just fine, getting along. He's doing the same thing she does. She's showing him. And then Adonis and Carmen get their entrances. Adonis walks out acting like he's all that in a bag of damn chips, which he's not. And then you have Carmen coming in right after, cutting off his music, and her walking out with the sword like, don't say nothing, because I can cut your ass with this if I wanted to. I'm just going to say this. I can say what I want when it comes to personal preference in eye candy and who I look at on TV. If I had to pick between Dion Lennox and Ashante, I'm going to pick me some Dion. But anyways, the match was fine. It started with Carmen and Adonis tagging each other over and over again because they want to be like, I'm starting. No, I'm starting. No, I'm starting. No, I'm starting. And then them, Dion and Brinley are just looking like, can one of y'all just make up your mind who's going to go first? And because they still won't do it, Brinley tries to pin Carmen so that way they can get the match going, which match was fine. It progressed their storyline. It did what it needed to do in that sense. I just thought that maybe those two would lose and then they would start arguing. But Carmen and Ashante pick up the win and they hug and all that. And it looks like they're just going to make out and recreate and semi-recreate Edge and Lita without no sex in a bed in the ring. But the ref gets in the middle, stops and then just lifts both their hands up in the air.
The ref is such a cock blocker. Like, you can see that there was love there when they held hands. You can see that they looked at each other, and the ref said, "No."
The worst of the night. I'm just gonna say that the ref wasn't the worst of the night.
I mean, he interjected in what is real love. You know, you can see it in that. You can see the fireworks in their eyes. I thought the story. Look, I see you in the chat, Jeff, and you're mentioning how it seemed like you're not feeling the story, and that's fine because, like, you know, everyone, it's preference, right? It's subjective and all that stuff. I just think this is fun. I think this is a fun thing. I've always thought Ashante was someone talented, and I wish that there was more eyes on him. And I'm glad that he's just getting this time. I'm glad that there's something going on. And same thing with Carmen, because Carmen's been here for a while, and sometimes they use her, sometimes they don't. And I feel like you pair these two together, we're going to see them on TV a little bit more. So I'm for it. Dion, he's a beast. He's a big guy. Matter of fact, I will sit here and say this so we don't go move for move. I always throw that out there. But he had an impressive drop. How big is this kid? I think he's 6'3", 6'4", and he's jumping like that. That's dangerous. But I thought they looked good for the time that they had, and it was fun. It was fun. It was nothing serious, nothing. I'm not going to go 5 stars at the Kentucky down. It was just a fun match. What's the next thing that we got there, madam?
Well, I just wanted to tell you that Dion Lennox is 6'2", for one.
Oh, okay.
So we had Sarah interviewing Ridge Holland ahead of the match. He's basically saying that Chase University will die tonight after he beats down Mr. Chase once and for all. And then we have another matchup that got announced for the women's Iron Survivor match. When I saw that Wren Sinclair was the one that was going up against Zaria, I immediately thought Wren Sinclair se va a morir, which translated in English means Wren Sinclair is going to die. Because Zaria was going to beat the ever living crap out of that woman. And as I was watching the NXT show on a Twitch stream, because I can't use the same website that everybody uses because it buffers too much from other people using it, and it cuts off to random websites and stuff that could put a virus on my computer. But they were talking about how some people get better deals in other companies because you can go wrestle independent companies and such. And I'm just thinking, didn't WWE let some of their people go on to Game Changing Wrestling? And they mentioned that Charlie Dempsey will be at an indie show in December, and it is happening in the lovely city of Clearwater, Florida. And he will be going up against former WWE superstar in Timothy Thatcher.
Hey, good for Timothy. That sounds like that's gonna be a fun. I feel like they complement each other's styles, so that should be a fun match.
It will be fun. So I'm just going to say he's made a bit of a name for himself in the indie scene. I'm not going to say he's made a huge name, so nobody get put in the Timothy Thatcher who or he. Nobody talks about him anymore. So what? Just because he's not mentioned all over the world doesn't mean there aren't people that are mentioning him at least once or twice.
Thank you, Sabrina, Estella. You know, the thing with the IWC, sometimes the IWC is just fucking gross, man. I'm just gonna shoot it straight. Sometimes it's gross. You'll say like, "Hey, I like this person," and they'll sit here and say, "Oh, well, he doesn't put butts in seats, or he doesn't sell shirts, or I don't like." You know what?
I like people on our show, like, oh my God, this person's not 6 feet. They're not 200 plus pounds. They're not relevant enough to hold a belt because they're under 5 something. And they look like basically the unofficial camera woman over here. So we will never believe it when they hold a belt. But if they're part of the Samoan dynasty, we'll completely believe it because of the family line. Or if it's a woman and it's not someone who's used over and over again in the title shot all the time, like, oh my God, it's Chelsea Green, she's trash. No, she's not.
She really isn't. If I could say real quick, and I know we're stepping away from the NXT show.
People dogging on their stars just because they're not being used all the time, or just because they're not as popular as everybody who's the main roster. I
wanted to say real quick, and then we'll get back to the NXT show.
They were called in the story.
I love that Candice LeRae is getting an opportunity at War Games. Like, she's someone who's so talented, and I like that they're just taking a chance with her.
This woman is War Games royalty. So is Rhea Ripley. So is Bianca Belair. And especially Io Sky, who has been in every single War Games match since it started for the women. Every single one. All of them. And she's only lost once, and that was with Damage Control. But every other time, she won. And it seemed that
was it once? Because I felt like she lost that one time. Raquel pinned her in one. And then that was NXT, and that was the one with the trash can. Now, I forget exactly. I mean, if anybody in the chat remembers, please let us know, because it's just so much.
You're right. That was the only other time she had lost. 2020, I believe.
Yeah, I think you're. Yeah.
With Raquel and Kaylee Ray and
there was like this super team. I forget what the team was, but right, yeah, absolutely. But which was from
6 times, which is not a bad record in War Games.
Honestly, let's be real. She is, and shout out to Jeff here. Io is War Game MVP because and it's one thing she's going to do this. This is really her spot. She's done it twice. She's going to go up, climb up the cage, and jump off with the trash can.
She is the genius of the spot.
Some people will say trash. Some people will say that's trash.
Watching Raw with somebody, and they were mentioning War Games, and they saw Io and Naomi coming out to help fight Raquel, Nia, Liv, and Tiffany, and they're like, "Why are Naomi and Io in this?" And I'm just thinking to myself, and I saw some videos, and I saw afterwards, they're the number one contenders for the women's championships from each respective brand. Why else wouldn't they be there?
That, and I also like that they're just utilizing all the other talent that they have there. Sometimes it's not just a WWE thing. I think AEW, name the wrestling company, if you will. Sometimes they depend on certain people, and it's like there's other people back there, and you can switch up the scenery.
Use them too. But
there you go.
Other people, we get.
Hold up! Before we break down this match, let's just highlight real quick the comments, and then we'll go on into the next match and segment. Jeffrey points out that Io is War Games MVP. Bianca was on the team. George mentioned Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, and Candice LeRae. Raquel, I'm not even going to try to pronounce it because I'll butcher that. But I don't think that Liv Morgan, Naomi, and Jade Cargill have ever been. No, I believe them.
Obviously, Jade has never been in War Games because she had just joined the company in 2024.
Right. In 2023, but 4 was her debut.
Yes, that's what I mean, debut-wise. But Naomi never was in War Games because she never had a reason, so to speak, to be in War Games. And as for Liv Morgan, she was never put in the picture to be in War Games herself. But after all the stuff she has done, especially with Rhea, why not put them in a cage the size of 2 rings and have them go at it with kendo sticks, trash cans, chairs, everything in the kitchen sink?
Let's hope there's no real kitchen sink involved. But what's the next match we got in wrestling, though?
Actual kitchen sink, but they will use a trash can that you will probably put on and jump from the top for the 3rd time in a row.
Oh, she's definitely real quick. Do you think? And then I'll let you continue to talk about NXT. Do you think that we get a Bronson Reed jumps off the top of the cage? Because I can guarantee you, if I'm on the ground and I see that, I'm moving. Do you think we see the big splash off the cage?
You mean if we see the big monsoon? Absolutely.
And then no one better kick out at all. Like I hope that he hits it. No one moves.
The part where that happens, where you play possum and you just quietly roll. You quietly roll away. So
it's like the orange. It's like the Orange Cassidy roll, right? You slowly the Orange Cassidy roll. We go roll out the way. But go ahead. What do we got, Russell? Though? What's next on the docket, please?
We had Zaria destroying Wren Sinclair, which Wren took everything like a champ, and that girl, people still love her, which she hasn't even shown everything of what she can do as a heel, because even though she is a heel character, so to speak, they're still having her be a little bit more somewhat doe-eyed, like really excited to try to do everything to make sure that she's doing everything right in the eyes of Charlie Dempsey. But match was good. It was very and you just handled it. I won't say both women's matches were good tonight. I did enjoy Stephanie and Jaida a little bit more, but this match was a great qualifier match as well for the Iron Survivor match for the women. And now we have 3 faces in the forms of Soruka, Stephanie, and Zaria.
Yeah. We got in the comments, George is pointing out, I'm going to make sure I say it right so you guys hear me, Zaria. He says Wren got dominated. She did get dominated, but she also got a lot of offense, too. I mean, it wasn't just this one-sided thing. She got some offense in.
It's a squash match. Like,
it
happened more so with Brinley.
Yeah. Like, I think Brinley got no offense in at all.
You just got to find her stuff from the indie days, or even stuff in AEW, not AEW, I'm sorry, NWA, because one of my favorite matches of theirs was a 10-women eliminator match that they had where anything goes and they can use any weapons that they wanted, and they did. And she's wearing this crazy highlighter green gear, but it was still a good match, and she had some really good offense in that one. I'm just going to say that.
Okay. All right. And I didn't say who's the match, who she went against, so people can check this out if they're interested.
Well, the match consisted of her and her tag partner back then, Missa Kate, which they went by M95, along with a wrestler named Samantha Starr, who is apparently 3rd generation, I believe.
Ooh, okay.
And another wrestler in there whose sticker I have on my phone named Ruthie J.
Okay.
And they went up against a faction there, which had 4 people at the time, called Pretty Empowered, which consists of Kenzie Page, the current NWA Women's Champion and has been for over a year, who dethroned Camille from her 780-day plus reign, her sister Kylie, Ella Envy, and Roxy.
Okay. All right. Good stuff. We got George's at Bronson Reed with the biggest
That's what I meant to say. It was the name of a natural disaster, so I was close.
You was very close. You actually nailed it. George is wrong here. Off the top of the cage would be insane. It would be insane. Matter of fact, think about Rikishi Val Venus IC match. I saw someone posted on Instagram, and I was like, yo, I forgot about this. I forgot what pay-per-view. I think it was Fully Loaded. It was in 2000. And I remember thinking, like, oh, shit, Val Venus is dead. But then he showed up on SmackDown. I said, oh, shit, Val Venus has a ghost. Zaria has grown on me. She's so damn good. She is good. She has a lot of promise to her, honestly. You know, her moveset. I mean, honestly, I think she's going to be a clear-cut favorite in this match, honestly.
When you when you're a powerhouse wrestler in a match with the word Iron Survivor in it, you're gonna be the fan favorite.
She's gonna be the fan favorite. We got Sup Mad Dog, Zaria, and Stephanie Vaquer and Julia are going with Soruga and going to put on a dance. It's gonna be a fantastic. I mean, this is honestly
for sure. We just don't know which one yet.
I was gonna say this is definitely looking like a star-studded Iron Survivor. So I'm very interested in seeing how this all turn out. I watched that match with Camille when Camille lost. We got War Games is Naomi's birthday. Cool. We also got I want to hope I'm saying it right. W needs to sign the Samoan twins. I mean, they've signed they just signed Lance Armani. Yeah. And, you know, a lot of people right now they're like, oh man, they should.
He's just on the NXT brand as opposed to being on the main roster for a little bit.
And that's fine. I was talking to a friend and he was like, oh, they just throw him into the bloodline. I'm like, you don't. Look, I think the bloodline, exactly. I think the bloodline is going to be so many.
Yeah. Not every member of the Samoan dynasty needs to be part of the bloodline story. Nia Jax ain't part of the bloodline story. I know she's a woman. Before y'all say anything, I know she's a woman. It don't matter. Not everybody needs to be involved. I know Naomi is married to Jimmy Uso of the bloodline. She's not involved. They're not putting the women in that story. So just because you is Samoan dynasty blood doesn't mean you got to put everybody in there. Some of who aren't even technically related to the Samoan dynasty by blood. Yeah. And they're in there.
So I was just gonna say, I was just gonna simply say, like, you have some ink. So there's Zillafar too as well, and I'm pretty sure there's some other Samoan part of the family I'm not even thinking about. But all I'm saying is there's so many of them to the point where this storyline, right? What season would you guys call this? Season 4 of the Bloodline, season 5, whatever it is. All I'm saying is you have all these other players that you could save for the next season and the next season, because I just don't think the story is ever going to end. We're going to be in our 60s and 70s.
It's going to be like Days of Our Lives. It's going to be like As the World Turns.
Yeah. Well, I call this, I honestly, you don't call this as Samoa Turns? Maybe we should say Samoa, because it's not really awesome. Just eventually they're going to get Rikishi involved. Watch, Rikishi's going to run someone over. Watch, some way they're going to say, you know, not
cool stuff all the time.
Not for nothing. I don't know about you guys, but when they said Rikishi was the one who ran over Stone Cold, I said that man can't drive. But what's the next segment we got here?
In the trainer's room, he's mad at the person that's trying to help him. After what happened, Ava walks in. He yells that he wants his match with Spears, while Eddy Thorpe comes in. And with all the turmoil that happened, he's upset. He wants to be in the Iron Survivors match. Ava gives Tony D, saying, like, if you cleared, you can have your match with Spears. And then once Tony D leaves with the guy, Eddie's mad, and he's like, oh, so because Tony D wants to have a match with Shawn Spears, you gonna give him what he wants, but you can't give me what I want. And she had said, I can't reverse the ref's decision. And she's trying to say something else, but he cuts her off and leaves. Which I can understand feeling frustrated, but you got to let your boss say something too, at least.
Where? That's all I heard. All I heard is where.com. Listen, Eddy Thorpe. Look, you went out there, you had an impressive show. And it was great to see you, but you lost. Now you got to go to the back of the line. Just like Kalani Jordan has to go to the back of the line for the North American Women's North American Championship. That's what happens when you lose. I can't relate to this. I haven't lost since 1997, so I'm very sorry that you don't know how to deal with this, but you lost. And, you know, Ava, everyone knows I give Ava a hard time, but I want to give her credit for actually doing her job, although she's selective when she wants to do her job. So I'm sorry. Eddy, go DJ. Maybe you could collab with GJ Kali or someone else. Name me some other DJ. What's her name? Grolilla? I don't know. She's a rapper. I just learned about her just the other day. And Sexy Blue. And make music. I don't know. Just stop all this whining. It has become the Wham event, and I don't want to be a part of it. Do you like when people just wham all the time, Sabrina, Estella?
No, I already had to deal with that. It was called working retail for 10 plus years.
Oh, that's awful. I worked at Toys R Us, and I fucking hated that place. I hated that giraffe. I hated the guy that I worked with named Tom. I hope Tom is doing well, by the way. I hope you're doing well, Tom. I hated it. They put me in the sections with Cabbage Patch. The Cabbage Patch! They wanted me to sell Cabbage Patch in 2007. Do you know why I'm so enraged? Because I said, hey, I was like, hey, I can do video games. Let's see. They took one glance at me and said, here, sell Barbie dolls. How can I do that? I don't know nothing about Barbie dolls. All I know is Ken is an asshole. I think he's an asshole because I believe he lives off Barbie. And no one can tell me otherwise. We got Cedric. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say Cedric. My apologies. He says, where's Obafemi? I think he's cool.
He was in theater and taking a break tonight.
I do think, I don't know if they said any other male matches, but I'm hoping that he's going to be involved in the Iron Survivor match. I think that if he's in it, then
qualifying matches. It wouldn't surprise me if that were the case. I
would love for him to be in it. I think and that's where you place him to win. Now, my only thing is if he wins, does he wins the NXT Championship? And I just think like that's something you say for like, I would go for Stand and Deliver personally. But if he's in this, I'm totally down for it. Because look, they've already teased Obafemi and Trick Williams. I'm going to say it was earlier this year, and they walked by each other. So that's there. So I don't know where Oba is. I hope that he's in the Iron Survivor. We also got Ava. Please help Eddy Thorpe. He has a gripe. Someone give him a tissue too.
It's going to be too late, and then he's going to turn. I would drink, but my cup is empty, so I cannot.
He said you're drinking. Eddy Thorpe is dating the hottest girl on Raw. There's nothing in there. It's very empty. Oh, he's dating Dakota Kai. I heard about that. I wasn't sure about that. We got Manny Fresh is DJ and DJ Drama. Is that a real DJ? DJ Drama? Is that real? Alexa, who's DJ Drama? Oh, he's real. Okay, never mind. We got Chris. We got Crystal. Liv Morgan is the hottest person on Raw. I mean, they're both hot. Honestly, they're both pretty good.
Between Dakota or Liv, I'd pick Dakota.
And I'm sorry, just to highlight real quick. Jeffrey says not everyone needs to be on TV every week. That's true, but
everybody needs to be on TV every.
But how long? Now, question. I feel like we haven't seen him since he lost at Halloween Havoc. What was that, like 3 weeks, right?
Yeah.
DJ Paulie D. Yeah. And we got DJ. Was it DJ Drama is T.I.'s DJ. That's a rapper. I know that. We talked about Eddy Thorpe. Was there any other thing before we get into this lovely main event of Andre Chase against Ridge Holland?
We had the Fatal Influence segment. So we had JC
I'm so happy.
And she says that they've always been ahead of the curve, that they've always been one step ahead of everybody in front of the main roster, as far on the NXT roster, and that they have the strongest women's division in wrestling right now, which I believe is true, as well as a lot of other people.
It's true.
Fallon Henley thinks that they should be talking about what they did last week and not the upcoming Iron Survivor Challenge. And she says that she could be a fighting champion, or she can just issue an open challenge. Not right now, which with what she's wearing a rose pattern jumpsuit on with heels. She's not ready to wrestle in that moment. I know that because people were booing her. I'm like, she's not dressed to wrestle. So as they're talking, Lash Legend interrupts and says that they want a title shot. If anybody's getting a chance at a title shot, it is the Meta Girls. And then Nikki, with them saying that y'all had your title shots and you lost that crown jewel. And then Nikita Lyons comes out next and says that you two need to wait in the back of the line. I'm up front. And then Adriana comes in out of nowhere and attacks Nikita. And then more of the women's roster comes out and starts fighting. And then JC and Jasmine get involved because the Meta Girls grab them and beat them up. And the other girls fight back, of course. And then Fallon is alone in the ring until Tatum comes out from under it, hits her with her finisher, and then holds the belt up in the air.
Sick visual. It was really cool. She's not going to win the championship, so I see this as a filler, but that's okay. That's cool. The NXT audience, they love Tatum, and I have no problem with this. Plain and simple. Not bad. And she just finished off her feud with was it Wendy Chu? Wendy Chu. I'm sorry, no, I meant Tatum I was talking about. Sorry.
Yes, and she had her brief thing with Rosemary, and then Wendy Chu had her brief thing with Rosemary because Rosemary can't trust anybody, apparently. So Brooks and Spears are happy with what happened. They're talking about it. Nico Vance comes in to tell Spears that he has his match for next week, and they're walking off all happy, basically to prepare. And Karmen Petrovic and Ashante are giving each other compliments, saying like Karmen's saying, "Oh, we worked pretty well together, and this is a good thing." And Ashante's like, "Oh, or do you mean out of the ring too?" And they get all flirty, and they're getting close, like they gonna kiss, until Nikita decides to stir the pot all Degrassi style, Gossip Girl style, all Euphoria style, basically most of these teen shows where these people are all disasters and a half. And she says, "I'll respond to your text soon." And then Karmen storms off with Ashante trying to say, "I didn't text her." Now listen. This plot is getting annoying for many reasons. But one of the reasons is I don't want Karmen to be delegated as someone who is put on TV for being somebody's girl. We already had enough of that in the Ruthless Aggression era. We already had enough of that in the Divas era. We're making progress with the women. We don't need to do that all the time for them. If we're going to give Karmen a spotlight, give her a spotlight any other way. But with this Euphoria, Gossip Girl, Degrassi, and the early stages, any of these teen high school shows type plots, do something a little different at least. Don't just do the whole one girl's going to pretend like she texted somebody because she's bored and wants to stir the pot because she's all butthurt that Adriana Rizzo attacked her for the second time. Like, Nikita, we get it. You're annoyed that Adriana got the best of you after you said that you weren't going to let nobody attack you. But don't stir the pot with other people just because you damn bitter and butthurt. You want to focus on somebody? Go focus on Adriana and beat her ass up from behind one day. Since you say you're going to be doing shit like that. Since you turned into Blair, apparently.
I can't follow up with that, so I'm going to highlight comments. First things first, what's going on, Big Joey Cool? What's going on, sir? I'll hit you up after the show. We got Jeffrey. He agrees with you. He says, "Thank you, Sabrina." Her talking about Karmen. He meant to say keep Karmen away from this. We also got George. He says Ashanti definitely texting.
If he did, it was probably around the beginning when they were.
No. It's clear as day that this man is getting blamed. No. I'm sorry. No. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. He's getting blamed. He didn't do anything. Why would he text Nikita line? Did she just come back like 2 weeks ago? So now he's like, "Oh yeah, Nikita, let's line it up." No, please. It's nonsense. It's
the part where it said he most likely did not, if he's trying to prove to Karmen that he's changing.
Yeah, no, I hear you, and I'm just sitting there saying this is nonsense. This woman's trying to blame it. This lovely guy who's trying to start
the pot because she's all butthurt that Adriana keeps attacking her from behind. If you don't like it, attack Adriana. Don't hurt these other girls just because you're upset and you trying to be Blair 2.0.
No, honestly, if I'm hurt, you got to take it out all the way. Look, if anyone's ever played Mario Kart, if you got to take your frustration, and listen, darling, I totally hear you, 100%, all ears. But I'm just going to be honest with you. You got to take your frustration out somewhere. I do appreciate her approach on trying to ruin someone's life. Good stuff, Nikita. Now, I don't like to push Ashanti, but, sometimes you know what you have to do? You play Mario Party, right? When you play Mario Party, when someone irritates you, don't you steal their star?
Well, I've watched people play Mario Party. I haven't played it personally, so
you should play. It's so fun. Just take this star. I played a 5-year-old. I took his star and I said, "Yeah, Santa's not real." Jeffrey actually says an interesting point here because he says that's his name, Nico. I said the same thing when you said Nico. I said Nico.
Not that Nico. If that Nico had gotten onto TV being a promo, he would have put that all over his social media after it aired, of course.
Oh, so what you're saying is he's not extra.
Not in that segment. He's not.
It was someone else. I wouldn't mind, but I have a soft spot for. Listen, Karmen's great, and honestly, too, I'll sit here and say this. Okay, I hear what you're saying about the segment and stuff like that, and I do agree, like, about the women's division and how much it's progressed and everything like that. So I sit here and say this though: what would you have her doing right now if it's not the storyline? What would you have it? Because I don't see her going for the North American. I don't see her going for the Women's Championship. What would you have her doing?
I mean, I would have her feud with one of the other women. I just don't want the focus to necessarily be on like trying to figure out what's going on with her and Ashante. Like, if he has a thing for her, he should just say it. And if she has a thing for him, she should just say it. Unless they do a segment where Brinley winds up locking them up in a room and telling them, until you two talk all this out, I ain't letting you out. Like,
Not like him.
It winds up working, which at this point, that's probably what it's going to come down to.
But you know they're going to stretch it out. I mean, that's just always been in wrestling. If I could think about a recent love story, maybe there was something way before that, but they stretched the shit out of that Mandy Rose and Otis storyline. What were they doing that since, late December, and the payoff was that year's WrestleMania? And I know a lot of you guys forgot about that year's WrestleMania because 2020 was a rough year. But they do stuff like that where they stretch it out. Now, obviously, I agree. An actual human being would be like, hey, what would they go? Hey, I like you. You want to go out on a date? Yeah, I agree. They should do that. But wrestling's always going to... Listen, it's wrestling. You can't even take this stuff serious. Kane burnt a guy, and they kept him still on the payroll. So we can't overthink this stuff called wrestling. Unless I'm missing some... Rikishi admitted that he ran someone over, and he's never served a jail time. Can't take this stuff too seriously. Didn't Undertaker rise from the dead? Just saying. Let's not take it seriously. But I digress. This coffee is wearing off.
That we shouldn't take seriously. We have Ethan Page cutting a promo about the Iron match.
Ooh, that was a mean timber.
He's going to try to get himself in one of the qualifying matches so he can compete and wind up winning and wind up challenging for the belt because that's what he wants to do. He wants to be champion once again. Does anybody want to see it again?
Mm-hmm. Oh, with him being a champion?
Anybody would want to see it again because he was always a sly little chicken shit champion. But if you can make it entertaining, I don't mind it. But it was mid. And then after that, we had...
real quick, I just want to... I know we're about to press for time, but I just want to say real quick. It makes sense. Who's he supposed to be going against next week? I forgot. Who's he going against?
Thing.
Who?
It doesn't say. It doesn't.
Oh, it doesn't?
Know who to go against.
Well, it makes sense for him to be in this thing because he was the former champion, though.
Until we have Nathan and Axiom watching the segment, and they're talking backstage, and they're saying how crazy it would be that if he would win. Nathan saying that, but Axiom says that ain't going to be the case because he's facing him next week. And then the same thing that I said earlier in the show, the same thing happened. Nathan Frazer does not learn his lessons. I think he got hit in the head too many times during wrestling after this last summer that happened because he did this. He spilled out the same story. What? You're trying to go for a singles thing too? Are you kidding me? What about the tag division? Aren't you supposed to be focused on that? Blah, blah, blah. And Axiom says, you're doing the same damn thing. You got yourself in the match? Well, then guess what? I'm going to put myself in there.
You know, George...
Handle the heat of what you do and someone dishing it back to you. Get your ass out of Hell's Kitchen.
That's New York, by the way.
Don't make an idiot sandwich of yourself if you can't handle what you've been dishing.
That was a good reference. I understood that totally, that Gordon Ramsay reference. We got George who says in the chat, I can see Axiom beating Ethan Page next week. I actually don't. I see Ethan Page going over.
I actually think despite that, I think some way, somehow, Ethan's going to connive his way into the Iron Survivor match.
Oh, you see Axiom getting in there somehow?
I mean, as much as I like Axiom, I think having the spots where him and Nathan wind up trying to pin each other one way or another when everybody else is like knocked out of the ring or in that timeout thing or something, it could be entertaining, but...
George says, at the end of the day, why are they even still because right now they're still tag team champions.
But
so
also,
they're gonna tag team.
We've said multiple times that there have been times where tag teams, like if it's not working out, they should just split without turning. But every time it's always a turn. Somebody's always got a turn. Apparently, that doesn't have to be the case. But
I actually have an example. I actually have one example.
The thing that can be irritating about this is that one partner is trying to do it, but doesn't want his partner to do it because he wants to be better than him. Essentially, that's what he's basically saying to Axiom. Nathan Frazer is saying this to Axiom. I want to be better than you, so I want to have go for myself, and I don't want you to try to do it because then you'll be better than me, and I don't want to admit it.
I was going to say that one example, probably lose my train of thought here. The example I was going to use, because that's true. That's such a tag team trope, right? Like tag teams, they turn on each other. Shawn Michaels has done it, and there's a bunch of people. I mean, Xavier Woods is going to be doing it soon. But there was this one example, and I do want to ask you guys in the chat if you guys remember this. I don't know if you guys remember a certain wrestler. His name is Ryback and Curtis Axel. I think one of them came back from injury. And then I forgot what the team was called. Was it called Rabaxo or something like that? I forget. But anyway, they shook hands backstage and said, I guess this is the end. Oh, yeah, I guess it's the end. And then they parted ways here. We got Chris, because you was mentioning Axiom. I think he was saying he should see him winning. He said, Ethan Page give me Miz vibes. And that's not a bad thing. That's honestly not a bad thing. I'm not even a big Miz fan, but if you look at his career and you look at the longevity that he had, right? I said, yeah. So I think
charismatic, and they both have promo skills. And I've seen stuff of both the Miz and Ethan Page interacting with fans and such, and they're both very sweet to their fans. Miz to be very funny about it, as well as Ethan Page in like toy conventions and toy stores and such. So.
Oh yeah,
vibes as well, and I think they both do the same thing where they wear one thing, where they wear an outfit once and they don't wear it again. Like Ethan Page, he does not wear the same shirt twice, and he has said it in a Chris Van Vliet interview. He does not wear the same shirt twice.
I was going to actually mention that interview because I thought that was such a pleasant. Like on TV, he does a great job to be such a heel, but you almost could tell like, yo, this is a sweet dude, and sweet in the most complimentary way of just saying like, yo, this is just like a really really good dude. My point is, I fell in love with just hearing him talk, and I was like, yo, this is a good dude. Like I hope the best for him. We got Jeffrey. He says they both can talk for sure, absolutely. And it was Rybaxo. Thank you, George. It was Rybaxo. That was the name of the team. Is there any other segment, Wrestling Doll?
They're just basically talking about the matches that are going to be coming up. Tony D versus Shawn Spears for the title, Fallon versus Tatum for the North American title, as well as Kehlani and Julia for an Iron Survivor qualifier, and Ethan Page and Axiom for an Iron Survivor qualifier. So now we have the main event of Ridge and Chase.
Hold up, time out, real quick, because I like to have fun with the chat here. Who do you guys got winning in these Iron Survivor matches, and what do you see as the outcome for Tony D Angelo? Again, you said Shawn Spears, right? Shawn Spears. Let us know in the comments. Go ahead, Wrestling Doll.
So we have the main event of Ridge Holland versus Andre Chase of Chase U for the number one contendership for the NXT Championship match. And we have Trick Williams coming out to join the commentary table. And the match was good. It was definitely one of those David and Goliath type battles with Andre Chase being the underdog, so to speak, and he's trying to fight for his university that he, as well as many of the other students there, have worked so hard to save to make sure that they don't lose it, that it was a place of belonging, that they've learned a lot from each other, so on and so forth, which match was good. I can honestly say this was one of the first times in a minute since watching Ridge Holland wrestle that I was not bored watching a Ridge Holland match. I actually watched the entire thing. And the match was fine. With the interferences of Duke Hudson and Riley Osborne, I thought, oh, maybe it's a saving chance for Andre Chase to keep Chase U alive, and that also, if he lost, he would have no more interaction with Duke Hudson, Riley Osborne, or Thea Hale. But even with everything that happened, Ridge Holland overpowered them all, and he managed to beat Andre Chase after catching him in a crossbody with his Impaler DDT for the win. And Trick Williams stands up, and Andre's devastated, and a lot of the fans that were wearing the Chase U merch and had signs are all devastated as well. And some of the fans in there were singing the na 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 hey hey goodbye chants that sometimes you would hear. And that was the end of NXT tonight. And as you can see by the smile on his face, he's very happy with the outcome, of course.
Such great victory for one Ridge Holland's here, folks. Ooh, what are we all sad about here, huh? Oh, I'm sorry. Is your Christmas about to be sad? Well, I'm going to tell you right now, my Christmas has just got it stacked, baby. Ridge Holland went out there, and he gets jumped by this fraudulent university. You know, we got Ridge, was it not Ridge? I'm sorry. Riley Osborne. He's not even an Osborne. He's not related to Ozzy, so he should refrain from having that last name. Duke, you are the. You know how Julia, she's called the Beautiful Madness. Duke has become the Beautiful Disappointment. I'm very disgusted in you, Duke. I loved all of this, even him getting jumped. I immediately got upset with the ref. I said, ref. Because he was getting jumped. I was like, is this a no disqualification match? And I didn't know about this. And then I immediately asked for Ava. And of course, she doesn't do her job. She's not, she's not really proficient at her job. She sometimes she remind me of that episode of Family Guy with George W. Bush. Brian finds him, and he said, there's danger going on. He said, please don't make me do stuff. That's you, Ava, when it comes time to do stuff. So seeing Chase University close and hearing the people say, nah, I had a little shake. You see the shake? Look at the moves. I was happy. And, now Trick Williams, he brought this upon himself when he jumped the spectacular Ridge Hollands, when him and Andre. Now Andre could close that school once and for all. I'll say it. I said it early in the show. I'll say it again. Japan, their stock has increased. The kids in France are having a fantastic Christmas. The Neverlands are growing their grass. I said glass. Hopefully they stay away from glass. There's children right about now. They're singing Kumbaya. Someone has just built a building somewhere. It is great. And I love this. Turn off the lights. Break the chalkboard. And I don't know, someone in this classroom could just piss in the corner because that was your last piss. Good job, Ridge Holland. We love when the good guys win. And I know JC Jane is somewhere celebrating, and so am I. I'm going to drink some more coffee. I might even just jog right about now. I'm in such a fantastic mood. You guys in the chat cannot ruin this moment for me at all. At all. Matter of fact, I'm going to call my mother later and tell her how great this is. What time is it? Oh, I can't call her. She's asleep. But I love this. Woo!
And that is the end of the NXT program for this Tuesday.
Hold up! Look how I want you to see this. Now I take back my happy birthday. No. I hope you have a terrible birthday, George. Look at this. Bad guy whack. Did you fall on the keyboards? Because that's supposed to say Jack, George. You got good Chris. Good
With
George.
The way that he gave you that and the previous points, he basically just gave you negative 160 million.
Oh, and George's word, I'm broke. I mean, not that's not too far from reality, but still. Ridge Holland's not winning the NXT Championship. George, Jeffrey, we don't need this bad juju or voodoo or vibes that you're trying to send me. How do you say it, Wrestling Dog?
Bad juju.
We don't want it. Miscarriage of justice was held. We have a lot of people falling on keyboards. Spectacular Ridge Holland. It's time to end this stream. No, you better not leave me. I have so much to say here. Ridge Holland should have been released from the. Wow, that is so rude. I don't root for anyone losing their job. I'm sorry. That's just not a me thing.
I can dislike some people as far as like character work, and if I don't find them entertaining in there, that doesn't mean I want them to lose their job.
Yeah, I've never been for that. Even if I was never a fan, I'm just never been for that. The Whack Pack community. How long did it take you to spell that word, George? What's this? EO? And we got
LOL.
I just hope he doesn't injure Trick.
Well, but if he learned his lesson from when he accidentally injured Big E and with other people, and hopefully he doesn't do it again, because we don't need someone else getting injured to the point where they possibly cannot wrestle again.
But
we're good.
That is the show. I guess real quick.
Rich dating JC. As far as I know, JCJ has a boyfriend in the indie scene right now. If they're broken up, I know nothing about it unless they put it up somewhere in some dirt sheets. And as far as Ridge, I don't know. I think he's married.
No, he's married. He's married and have kids, I believe. Yeah, I believe she's actually dating somebody, and he is married. I believe. I'm not too sure, but yeah. White packing me. Okay, George, that was fun. Don't give George any points. George don't deserve no points. That was even clever. It was a beautiful mistake that he did. He just landed on the keyboard. But real quick, matter of fact, this was my reaction when he said that. I was very disgusted at you, George. I saved this just in case. Real quick, you want to read these? They read the award stuff here earlier in the show. We're gonna end it because it's 11:30. But you want to read these awards? Not ceremony. What is this? The categories and all that stuff. You down for that, Wrestling Doll?
Why not?
All right, she says, why not? Look here, we got best wrestling show of the year. I'm assuming. Oh, this is actually wrestling shows here. You want to read the candidates here?
Are WWE Raw, WWE SmackDown, WWE NXT, AEW Collision, and AEW Dynamite, because apparently Impact and Ring of Honor do not exist in our world.
It would be great if we did. I would love to review Impact. I just don't have the channel.
You have to pay for it, but that's besides the point.
Oh yeah, no. You want to read the next ones here? We got UPRW Host of the Year.
Host of the Year. We have the Mike Knox Show, and then we have.
Oh, I'm so sorry. You know what? I'll take this one because the wording here. Oh, you got it?
Everybody is put in different shows that they're not necessarily on.
You got he when making it, he didn't have time to edit. But you want to read the things anyway?
So it looks like we have the executive consultant as the first pictured, followed by my partner, the Greek Grand Slam Puba.
Hey.
AEW Dynamite's own Cactus Katie, the SmackDown Penitentiary's Dice, they is silent, and then Mike Knox from the Mike Knox Show. And I cannot see who is in that last picture there because it is.
I think that's Post Malone. I'm not too sure. Let's say Post Malone is in the thing too. I think that's Benny. I can't really tell because that was a terrible picture that was picked there. We got Wrestling Moment of the Year. So you want to read these?
Danielson winning the AEW title, Cody Rhodes winning the WWE title, the WrestleMania press conference, and Jey Uso winning the IC title.
Interesting.
3 weeks. Just
Woo! You know, the WrestleMania press conference, that's actually surprising. I didn't know that was in there, but that's cool. You want to read these ones? They got UPR
Duo, Z and Vic from the SmackDown Penitentiary, Freckle Sensei and EC from Monday Night Raw, Big Daddy Cool and EC from all their UPR shorts, as well as the undisputed duo of NXT Tuesdays, myself and the great Lampuba.
Wrestling Doll, look, I hate being upset, but I'm fucking upset right about now. Do you see the injustice right here? Tell me you don't see the injustice right here.
You mean with the EC being nominated twice?
Who did that? No one asked for him to be. He does this. He has this way. Look, if we don't win best duo of the year, I want you to take a look at this. How do you have two tag teams? Who are you? Who are you, Randy Orton? We have all these groups. What are you talking about here? And there's nothing wrong with all those groups, by the way. But still, the executive consultant. Let's go to the next one.
We have to nominate each other, and there's a rule that we cannot pick ourselves.
So the rules. So he doesn't. So he doesn't follow the rules. He doesn't. He's a not to follow the rules kind of dude. That's what I'm getting out of this. But apparently we have segments.
He has NXT, SmackDown Penitentiary, and the AEW shows to pick as well. But if we have the best UPR segment with Mad Dog with News, Wandering by Michaela.
Hey.
Steamin' Beamin', and the Week in Wrestling with Vaughn.
Wait a minute. Steaming Willie Beeman? Do you guys know he worked here, right? Look, I like Steaming Willie.
He does know that he still works here?
I was surprised. The other day I saw him right in the chat. I said, oh shit. But you know, I have a lot of love and respect for one Steaming Willie Beeman. We were supposed to have a UPR promo battle, but I get it, big bro. You're scared to go one-on-one with the champ, and that's okay, and that's all right. Continue to do your segments. We got here. What's this next one here? Here we go. What's this?
We have Funniest Host. We have the executive Contradiction, Big Daddy Cool, The Great Grand Slam Puma, The Z is Silent, Mike Knox, and that is Vinny at the end one. Why did y'all pick that picture for Vinny?
I didn't do. Me? I didn't do that. I don't know. I still think that's Post Malone.
The graphic. If you wanted to pick a picture of Vinny, you should have picked one where we can see what he looks like, so we can tell that it's him.
So we got here. We got laughter right here, right? Because I think he knows the bullshit. We got NXT, so that's what George says. We got said no awards for trash. Ooh. Okay, apparently not it.
No disrespect to our other members of UPR. We do not condone that. Okay, this isn't the dirt sheets, and this isn't the internet wrestling community that likes to dog on every other company that isn't WWE. Every other company is fine in their own way. And we have other people on our program that like to talk about that. So we don't dog them. And also, I did nominate one Cactus Katie for Best UPR Host, as well as my partner here. So don't talk trash about one of my fellow women here on Unpopular Review. And if it wasn't supposed to be who I nominated, I just did. I do not care.
Yeah, she do not care. You hear that? We got, I'm voting for you too. Thank you, good Chris. We got EC is on. Do you see that nonsense, George? Jeffrey, you see why?
It's probably happened like 20 times since you.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't put himself 3 times for host of the year. EC, Chris, EC Harris. I don't know. I'm surprised he found a loophole. Bad Guy Jack and Russell Dog. We appreciate that though. We really appreciate it. We work our hardest to try to entertain you guys. So we hope that we win Duo of the Year. EC is going to win one of them.
He might wind up winning one, and if he does, so be it. At least this year, the fans will be voting. So
that's Willie.
Because that's also another rule. When we nominate, we can't pick ourselves, and when we vote, we cannot pick ourselves.
We got yes. So it's really up to you guys. It's going to be fun to see how this.
All the votes will literally be at 1.
We got Bad Guy Jack for Funny's host. I appreciate that. I hope so. We love Katie. We do love Katie. A lot of love and respect. She worked hard on Wednesdays. I do want to throw it out here. I always give you guys shenanigans, a lot of work here. But she does double duty. She does the challenge and she does AEW the review show. So definitely a lot of flowers towards Katie because she really, really works her butt off here. So definitely a lot of love and respect for her. Good night, Bad Guy Jack and Russell Dog. Good night, good Chris and Chad. We're going to be ready to say good night too because we're going to end this show. We just wanted to read the results. We're going to be doing award shows in December. So we hope that you all guys can be here. All of us are going to be underneath one roof, which is going to be a hell of a show. And I can already tell you right now, I'm going to be on my worst behavior because I'm the bad guy and there's no rules that can stop me. I should put that on the shirt. Jeffrey, write that down, but I want that as a mental thing and remember that in the future. But Russell, we got shows to plug real quick. We talked about this award thing. There's something for everybody. That's the slogan, right? Where is this damn thing? I can't find this damn thing. Oh, here we go. You want to tell the people what's going on in the lovely world of Unpopular, the chaotic world of Unpopular Review, if you don't mind.
In our massive chaotic world of Unpopular Review, we have Monday nights with Mike Knox at 6 o'clock, the show for the intelligent wrestling fans, as well as the Raw review show after Raw goes off the air with Freckle Sensei and the executive consultant. You have NXT Tuesday with myself and the Great Grand Slam Puba, the undisputed duo, and AEW Dynamite Wednesdays with Cactus Katie, Dan the Man, and Venomous Vinny, or as some of the people here like to say, White Woman Wednesdays, basically. And then you have Top 5 and our predictions on Thursdays. And then you have the SmackDown Penitentiary discussing Friday Night SmackDown on Saturday afternoons with the Zia Silent and Vic the Mark.
Yes. So you got all your favorite hosts. So, pick your litter here. We got George. He says, Bad Guy Jack, you wash out the hedgehog. No, I'm Sonic. You could be Silver. Or you could be Tails because no one likes Tails.
Black and red, then I could have been Shadow.
You could be Shadow. Can you skate?
Not very well.
No, me either. I think I had a concussion one time. It's terrible.
I'd rather dress as the Bat's one rogue from Sonic the Hedgehog.
You would be a great Rouge the Bat. Yes. Yes. So much yes to that because you would kill that role. You know what? The next con, you should be Rouge the Bat. One day we're going to do a con together. I'm going to definitely do Sonic the Hedgehog. You could be Rouge the Bat. And, the executive consultant could be a palm tree. You know the palm trees that be in the background on Sonic? It's just in the background, just standing there. He just walks every time we walk because he can't be a character there.
Well,
he's too tall.
He'll be complaining the entire time that he's there. So
I like that for you, George. You could totally be Knuckles. You are my arch rival. Because actually, DJ is kind of like my shadow to me.
Wait. Since you don't like Tails, wouldn't it be funnier if Dice were Tails?
No, I mean, look, he already follows me a lot. I don't like. I feel uncomfortable being followed. That's what Tails does. He just follows you. Like, I remember playing the game. I said, "What if Sonic went in the bathroom?" I would be very upset if I saw this two-tailed fox and he's just watching me pee. And he does that in one of the games. In Sonic Adventure, when you're taking a shower, Tails just stares at you. Very uncomfortable. You don't believe me? You can Google that. He just stares at you as Sonic rubs shampoo and the quills and everything. You guys didn't actually hear about all the Sonic stuff. He's saying he's still laughing at what EC said about Patrick earlier. That he's so disrespectful to Patrick. We love Patrick here.
Surprising. Is it not surprising? It is the executive contradiction after all.
We gotta give respect to Patrick because he was one of the founding fathers along with Stefan, and yeah, they were very rude to him. I can't believe how rude they are. But plug your stuff real quick so we could go home. You have a YouTube channel. Your YouTube channel is growing. You do great content. You do fantastic work here, but also fantastic stuff on your YouTube channel that is continuing to grow and grow and grow. What do you got here, girl?
So I have my YouTube channel, The Unofficial Camera Woman, where I go throughout Central Florida, occasionally south, to film the independent wrestling scene down here, which I love. And I just made some matches public, as well as at a show that I was at with a match for a championship belt with Special Enforcer Mick Foley, and including apparently his son-in-law, someone named Frank the Clown.
Oh, really? Wow, he was there. I've heard of him. Oh, good, cool.
He went there as the challenger's manager, basically.
I had no idea he wrestled. I know he was Frank the Clown, but he wrestled.
He was just there to take spots, including one with Socko.
Okay. You have him, Mr. Socko, right?
Yes.
With the blood on it. Yeah, he had like a little bit of blood there.
My Socko's just sleeping right now.
He's sleeping right now. We didn't do a show this week. We were both kind of like tired, but the Big Pop Theory podcast, we're on episode 84, going on episode 85. This week should be interesting. I'm assuming we're going to record on a Sunday, and we do talk about NXT. We do still throw in a little conversation about NXT, and you already know I am going to give it to one Miss Sawyer and let her know Chase U is out, justice is served. And now I can go to the next case. And the next case is when we're going to stop the Nick Cannon Wars, because he has a great army. I don't know if you've been paying attention, but he has a fantastic army, and we're going to take him out. So that's my next mission in life. But that is the show. Continue to follow her. Continue to follow me. Continue to follow Unpopular Review. Tomorrow, tune in for the challenge. They have the show, I think, around 9-ish, I want to say. And then after around 10-ish or so, they're doing AEW Dynamite. So continue to follow Unpopular Review. I lost my voice. I want to say thank you guys. You guys are we really, really much appreciate you guys. 6 years, and you guys have been supporting us. Continue to support us, and thank you. So, with that said, Russell Doyle, you want to say, don't rub it in. I'm going to rub it in. Shay's going to destroy.
He as well, so she's going to know, and of course, this one is going to explain everything, how happy he was in his own words. So, be prepared for that when the new episode of the Big Pop Theory podcast comes out about it.
And I send, you want to say any last words? Because I do have last words for the people watching before we go.
Please go to Chelsea Green's social media where she got announced on the airline that they are happy for her becoming the future WWE United States Championship.
Oh, that's so cool. Nice. That is great. My last one's for the chats who thought Chase U was still going to be around. Bye, guys.